Okay, first of all, I'd love to credit the animators for trying their hand at unique and somewhat advanced textures, especially given that this animation came out over 4 years ago. However, while some things have this normal map put onto it to add detail, like the wood and the cloth, others are just completely flat, like skin, and this bird here. Look at it versus the grass. Oh god, this cat moves like those nightmare CGI ones from the Cats musical movie. This video predicted horrible Cats CGI confirmed. Also, there was improper anticipation at that bird's takeoff. Birds don't just take off by crouching and then flapping their wings. They have to push off with their legs too, or else say bye-bye to birdie life. The turbulence settings they use for the grass and wheat causes it to wiggle in a way that doesn't quite look like it's waving in the wind. It's more like a worm trying to escape drowning in the rain. It took me 4 watches of this scene to realize that this dude puts on a pin. I was too distracted by this credit blinding me. Wouldn't it have been better to have these credits come before the video started, so they're not covering the animation itself? I know nothing's really happening in the background, but it feels a bit distracting. Obvious edge of the map. This woman's face is suffering from a case of render issues and hair noodle clipping. Also, they just went at the character animation without any layout for poses. The way they walk is a great example of this. It makes everything look very unnatural. Again, kudos for trying something unique, but because of the cloud's transparency, it catches the light of their sun weirdly. The clouds are reddish, yet it's midday.
Silent night, the coast is clear.
More misplaced textures. It looks like this dude has scratched plastic for hair. This is looking more like the Lego movie than Minecraft. Having eyes be reflective is fine and all, until you get moments like this where the eye turns into a white void.
To the moment I reveal, there's no time for you to heal.
Alright, first off, I'm calling this girl Katara because of her hair noodles. And second off, this fisheye type effect is really disorienting, after having just seen how flat the ground is. This creeper's foot is firmly planted on the ground, yet his leg continues to move. A wonderful example of IK snapping. Let's use this as an example of how not to do hair and backpack interaction, and sin all the rest of the clipping, putting it at a solid 7 sins this time, editor. Thank you.
Take my chance, sneaking through.
Katara's leg is the only thing that the animators moved to show her shifting her weight when she looked around. It moving downwards looks weird when her hip isn't rolling. Katara's hair defies gravity by jumping over the baby creeper, and can't stay consistently posed between shots. We just watched her hair fall over the creeper in the previous shot, but in this one, it happens again. This guard's leg is broken. Someone come relieve him of his duties already. The F-curves on Katara's walk weren't touched up. Every step she takes, she shoots backwards. The way this guy just walks without blinking and his eyes wide open like that is just a little scary. This guard up here freezes after he points. This is meant to look like Katara turned her backpack around her body to hug the baby creeper, but instead, the creeper and the grass just pop out of her armpit. Also, how could she have smuggled it in, given how creeper-phobic the townsfolk seem to be? It so clearly wasn't hidden by the grass and hair. Instead of a proper fade to a different scene, the animation freaks out and flickers into the next scene. Every shadow being cast by the eyebrows, eyelids, and pupils looks so wrong, not to mention the mouth was barely visible.
Mind at peace when I'm alone.
This wood-like block on this baby creeper, which I assume is supposed to be some sort of caster aid to it since it was harmed, slides off through his leg for a couple of frames. As the creeper jumps off the ledge, its wooden cast disappears, only to return when it's back on the floor.
But don't get close.
Whoa! You should know your creeper etiquette, Katara. Scaring one like that is a surefire way to get it to explode.
Take my chance, sneaking through.
This cloth goes from floating in space to snapping in place in Katara's hand. For some reason, one of Katara's noodles is twisted and curled, while the other is straightened. The reflection in Katara's eye suggests that while she puts the green thing away, the world is spinning behind the camera. While the iron hat gets motion blurred into oblivion, the feather on it is still perfectly clear, creating a confusing effect where your eyes can't process what's going on. Also, the soft body physics on this feather causes it to bug out. The baby creeper pops into the shot and grows, just as Robin Hood here sits down. Meanwhile, he has a pretty obscure reaction, not even looking right at the creeper at first. Robin Wood here is clearly gonna get ahead of the baby creeper, but then the baby creeper is far ahead of him and able to escape for a few moments. These little figurines move backward for no reason. Katara doesn't walk here, she actually moonwalks and drags her feet at the same time, a move even Michael Jackson would be confused by. And the couch that Robin Wood sat down on soon after entering this door is suddenly gone, or moved off to the side, given the plant is now in view from the door rather than the couch. For a single frame, a white dot appears on the screen here. Disregarding the fact that creepers explode within 3 seconds once in the proximity of a player, they flicker and expand as they prepare to do so, which this creeper did not. Also, this explosion effect was added in post. Katara's hair dangle stays in place, which I know we send all the clipping, but this is atrocious. Now, for no reason, there's a fisheye effect again when the camera spins around the characters. It just adds nothing to the scene. Katara's leg snaps right into its next position, to then push her up moments later. They didn't use fancy feet, which means when the character's leg is positioned like this, their heel just floats. The shading around Robin Wood's lip is wrong. The shadow should be below it, not above it. Why does a wild creeper trust Katara? The only plausible answer must be that she herself is part creeper. There's a weird particle effect in the air for some reason. The way this cloth acts as it hits the creeper and dissolves into a jittering mess is just unnerving. Again with the terrible physics bugs. You know, you could've just let it be a solid object. Regardless, the motion blur on the hoodie doesn't quite work out all the way. Going back to the non-use of layout, this crouched animation just goes forward very unnaturally. I know this was 2015, but use this as a lesson to why you should lay out your scenes.
So when you hear me hit, I'll destroy you. Always make me go.
Despite knowing that this man has a mouth on his rig, and it is moving to give expressions, it is virtually invisible, and just looks like he's Marvin the Martian.
I'll destroy you.
What did I tell you, Katara? Scaring a creeper is the best way to get blown up. You won't be injured, of course. The main character never gets injured. There's a lighting glitch on this blade of grass for a moment here.
Yeah, you always make me go boo.
This shadow made by the hair dangle glitches out of existence as Robin Wood phases through Katara. In conclusion, this wasn't a bad video. It had an interesting concept of a woman befriending an otherwise hostile mob, and the music was great, but the textures, frame rate, lighting, and the smoothness of the animation really could have used some work. Overall though, still an alright watch.
The coast is clear, unprotected. Mind at peace when I'm alone. You make till the moment that you break.
Baby.